Peace, 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 peace. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's going on? What's going on? Grand rising, kings and queens, grand rising. Part two. Got a lot of phone calls, got a lot of messages. Part two is here. Usually I don't do every day, but this I think we needed to go ahead and do a continuation of yesterday's show because, like I said, I got a lot of phone calls, I got a lot of comments, and there were some things that I didn't address yet, but I'm addressing it on part two. Part two. So, like, share, subscribe, donate to the cause, and so we can keep this information going. And without further ado, I want to jump in and let me give a couple of shout outs. Let me start this rising with some shout outs. Let's see who's in here. Okay, Riri's in here. Peace, Riri. China Black is in here. Peace, China Black. Okay, who else do we have? We have Robert Rand. Peace. Robert Rand, peace to you. Welcome back to our channel. Repping our culture. Peace. He's in here. Okay, we got a couple people coming in. They're coming in slowly but surely. Kaz is in here. Peace, Kaz. Always first. Class media. Peace, everybody. Peace, peace, peace. Okay, let's go back. Let's hit some things, some issues first. So, for those that didn't see the show yesterday, what we were talking about were the elements of hip hop. The elements. Usually, the narrative was that there's only five or even three, four elements to hip hop, which I want to show that there's many more elements to hip hop. So far, we addressed the DJing, we addressed the MCing, we addressed the dance, we addressed the fashion, we addressed graffiti, snapping, the language, the slang. So we address those things. I want to go back though to the actual DJing because I'm a DJ, and I want to go back to DJing. So some of the comments that have been said over the years is about break beats, and the reason why it's so valuable to me as the creation of hip hop is because when we were gathering these records, these break beats, usually, like I said, we could find them in our parents' collection of records, and we could find some of those. But then there were a lot that we couldn't find in our collection, or maybe they would have been scratched because our parents didn't do how we do with records. So they had a record, maybe they left it out of the cover or out of the sleeve, and they didn't care about it. So it might have got scratched or something, or with a lot of use, it would get scratched. So a lot of those records we had to actually go and find, and that's one thing about the record situation that people, to me, if you weren't there, you would not understand. So, take for instance, I used to live in the Bronx, of course, in Bronxdale, and I would go all over. I would go to Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I would go all over trying to find these records that I knew had the drum break solo on it. So once I did get that particular record that I was looking for. Of course, I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want anybody to know, number one, where I got the record from, what was the name of the record, or anything. So, what we used to do is we would cross out the name of the record. So the DJs that know what I'm talking about, break beats, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Now there was a couple of stores, record stores in our neighborhood that would have records, and they would have older records and stuff that we were interested in, and of course we would go and get these records. There was a record store right up the street from my building on Westchester Avenue that we used to get records from. So we would get these breakbeat records, and we would actually play them, when we were doing our jams or whatever you want to call it. So the reason why I bring this up is because those breaks, we some record, we would only play uh, the break part of that record. That's all we would play. We wouldn't play the entire record. We would only play the break part of that record. And so a lot of people in the comments, they brought up these records that had the break in it, and it says that there were different uh, groups that made these records. I call them Pink People, of course. All know that. So records that the Pink People made. Now, the connection to what that is said is being that those Pink People that made those records, where did they get that groove from? Where did they get that funk from? Where did they get that type of rhythm from? And the answer is from Friedman people, right? And so a lot of times, people say, well, you played that record or whatever, but there were only a couple of records that we would play the whole record. Some of those records were James Brown. James Brown, we would play probably the whole record and then some. We would play stuff like The Mexican, Rock Creek Park, Just Begun. Those records, somewhat records that we would play the whole entire record. But then again, sometimes we would just play the break part of the record or the beginning part, the introduction to the break part of the record. And so that's one thing that I needed to say. Now, when we talk about these breaks and we talk about the creation of hip hop, we didn't have, we didn't have the records put together on a compilation album. We didn't. And the creators know this. The creators know that we had to look for our records and put our records together and find our records. So we didn't have um, something like this. Okay. We didn't have something like this. Okay, we didn't have that to find records for us. We didn't have these. Okay, we didn't have those. All the records that are in these albums are records that we had to find in the creation. Okay, because these albums were not around. Okay, were not around when we were the creation of hip hop. Okay, because you remember in 71, which is the creation of hip hop, as like I said, we were kids and we were looking for the records that then would be put on these albums. Okay, now I'm gonna give you a story. I'm gonna tell you a story, which people probably just don't know at all. They don't know about what the how the break beats got together or anything. So let's go to this picture. Okay, now you see this person, rest his soul. This is Lenny Roberts, right? And how I met Lenny Roberts was as a young kid, I would go to Harmony Records and I would go to A1 Records. I would go to Westchester Records, and I would go in looking for these records. And one day, uh, I got into the store, and the owner of the store, I always tell him what I'm looking for and what I needed and what he could do. So what he could do for me as far as getting me these records that I came into the store to request. And so one day in the store, I had saw Lenny before, but I didn't, we hadn't spoke or anything. So he comes up to me. Now Lenny was a jazz record collector. Anything in jazz record, Lenny had. Because he just collected those records, and he had a lot of records in pristine condition that he was collecting. So this particular day, Lenny comes into the store and he sees me with some records in my hand. And he says, what kind of records do you like? What kind of records do you like? And I told him, I said, I'm a drummer, and all I wanted was records that had a drum solo in it. This is what I told Lenny. I said, a drum solo. And so he said, "Well, let me hear what you're talking about. Let me hear what you're talking about." So in Harmony Records, all of those that know Harmony Records, they had a little turntable there that you could actually play the records on and hear what the records are. So I was playing these couple of records for him, and it had the drum break on them. He was like, "Oh, I know a couple of records like that." And so, of course, as soon as he said that, he's my number one guy now. And he tells me, okay. So after he showed me those records, I purchased those records. He came back. I mean, I left and then I came back to get some more records, and he was in the store as well. So he tells me at that point, he says, well, listen, if you show me what these records are that you want and I find them or whatever, or you pick them up, because like I said, I had already had records in my hand. So he said, this is what I'll do. I'll buy the record, I'll give you one of the records, and I'll take one of the records for myself, to tell him the name. So of course I'm going to say yes. And this is in at the time where I had just, started as far as buying two records. So I increased the deal to say that, okay, if you buy me two records and you buy the rest of the records for yourself, that'll be a great deal. And so that's what started happening. So he started buying me two records at a time. Now, this was the time when I started going everywhere to find records. And one of the places that I had went to. Oh, before I go into that, let me explain to you another thing what happened too. So at this time when I was getting those records, there were the owner at Harmony never put the records on the wall because I told him not to. I told him not to because he would have some of the records that were the hit records on the wall, and I told him not to put these records, these breaks on the wall because I didn't want anybody to know what these records were. So he didn't. And so I get down to downstairs records, who was downtown, the first downstairs records, not the second one, the first downstairs records. And there was Elroy and Benji and who else was there? There was a couple of people that was at downstairs records. And sure enough, coming in and getting these records. Also, I have to shout out Doug. Doug always helped me and was getting a lot of names of records. So what he did was Elroy. He saw this. There was a demand now coming for these records, and so what Elroy started doing was putting these records on the wall. Okay, and then so that to me kind of messed up the game at that time. Later on, yeah, we didn't care because we had so many break records that we would tell people what the names of records are and everything. But what Lenny Robinson did was he built a record company, Ultimate Breakbeats. So once he did that, now you could go and get these records that we had looked all over the world for um, to put on an album, and you could just go in the store and buy this album. So at that point, I was actually kind of hurt, but this happened later on. So this is not the creation. This is not 71, 72, 73. It's not that. So when this did happen, I was a little bit upset. Yes, I was a little bit upset because number one was now I'm digging all over to find these records, and then they're putting these records on these Ultimate Breakbeats. So it kind of hurt me. Okay, so that's where the breaks parts come in. Now, I'm going to show you a picture of something that's actually in my book. But I had said it on an earlier video with Michael Wayne TV of how it was done. So yesterday on the video, I explained to people about the one turntable. In my book, I will explain how it was a turntable and something else. And this is early. This is 1970 and 71. So let's go to there and let's show how the two turntables came into the existence. Okay, so right now, that's a picture of one of the original. This is the original thing that we used. I got this from my father. They owned a club, a big club in Harlem and the Bronx. And so I got this from him. Now, this is actually the introduction for us, for Mario, for us to use two turntables. If you look closely at this, maybe I could put maybe I can do it. But what it would have is it'll have Phono 1 and Phono 2. Okay, Phono 1 and Phono 2. So what this would do would allow the actual turntable to be played, and then you switch to another turntable. So there was no mixer. Okay, we didn't have a mixer to do that. And so that's a big, big part of what we were doing. And this part of the history of hip hop has not been told. And the reason why it hasn't been told is because the narrative is that Herc brought a sound system from Jamaica, and that's what started hip hop, which is totally untrue. It's totally untrue. Um, we had speakers, we had everything, and the people, the tubby person that they say started the Jamaican sound system, he got his system and his speakers and his amplifiers and everything from the United States. Okay, so if he got it from the United States, that means that we were already doing this. This is something that we were doing. And he didn't get his sound system from Jamaica, he got his sound system from the United States. So for somebody to say that we didn't know about the culture of sound systems, those are the people, like I said, that only can go by the narrative that's online or hearsay or what people said or what they've read in a book. So they don't know. They don't know actually what we did. Now, the funny part about it this is as that people say that Mario didn't have a system. And so what brings me to how the sound got out. Okay, so what would happen is that it would was a combined system. Okay, each one of Chuck City had some things. So I had this receiver here. Someone else would have two speakers, big speakers. Somebody else would have some bigger speakers. Somebody else would have another receiver. Somebody else would have echo chamber or something else. And so it was a combined system. Now, that only happened in the very beginning. Mario did acquire a big sound set for himself, just for Mario. And so people don't understand that. People just hear the narrative, never heard Mario play, and so they don't know about the sound systems. They don't know about it. And this is a perfect example right here to show that when we first started, we didn't have a mixer. I'm gonna later on, and it's in my book, I'm gonna tell you when the first mixer was there, and I'm gonna tell you when the first crossfade mixer was there, and I'm gonna show you who made the first crossfade mixer, and it was not Flash. So people just have to do research and find, but a lot of the research that you do, you're not going to see stuff like this. You're not going to see this actual receiver, and you're not going to know the story behind it. And so that's why it's imperative that I get this story out and I let people understand so they would know, wow, that's how it happened. That's what happened, and that's where the stuff actually came from. Okay, so we did that, and let me show this one again. The Super Disco Breaks. Okay, so now, like I said, now with the super disco breaks, uh, it was really, oh man, it was to us, we definitely said it was cheating, and the way that they mixed the records onto the vinyl, and you would hear different scratches, that were in the record. Sometimes you would hear popcorn in the record, or you would hear how it was dubbed or it was edited, and that that was a perfect example of why we felt like things were not going in a bad direction, but it was going into a commercialized direction. Okay, so back to the elements once again. The black spades. Now, a lot of people don't understand what the black spades were, what kind of organization the black spades were, and what's their contribution to hip hop. So, without getting into really detail about it, there were things that the older people were doing, our elders that were doing, and just like the spade dance and the the circling of the dancers, all that comes from the black spades. They would get into a circle, and they would do the spade dance. They would call out spade power when James Brown's soul power would come on. They would do that, and so that's a big part of the culture of hip hop. That's a element, of hip hop, and so now it's going gang culture, but in reality, what it was we were an organization, and it was started to protect us. It was started to, because it was a war. One of my sensei, even he's explained it to me the other day, and he said, it was a war. It was a war that was happening. Okay, so now speaking of dances, I remember yesterday I had brought this up. Uh, that's the black bottom dance. Let me see if I can find another one. Here it is. Let's do the black bottom dance. Okay, so now what I did that I didn't show yesterday was this. Okay, the black bottom dance is said to have originated in New Orleans in the early 20th century, and some say African Americans in the U.S. South began dancing it as early as 1907. Okay, remember that date, that year, 1907. The dance is believed to have been brought to white America in 1919. Okay, so from 1907 to 1919 by Perry Bradford, a musical producer from Nashville, Tennessee, who wrote the song The Black Bottom and included dance instructions in the sheet music. Others say the blues singer Alberta Hunter introduced the dance, and the African American dancers and choreography. Billy Pierce is responsible for introducing it to the ballroom and popularizing it in the. Okay, I can't read the rest of that, but anyway, let me see if I can do it this way. Okay, no, it actually, I can't read the complete of it. But anyway, why I brought this up was that in 1907, okay, in New Orleans, this dance was introduced, and it's just a showing what we were doing and how we were innovating a whole culture of things. So it was brought to the Pink America in 1919. Okay, so that shows a lot. That tells a lot about our history and what we do and what we bring to the table, as in reality, what we bring to the table. And so this dance that was created, um it actually got, what you say, commercial. And that's what happens to all of our stuff. What happens to all our stuff is it becomes commercialized, and other people grab to it, and then they say that they're 50-50 with creating it. And then they say that after a while, they say that they're the ones that made the moves. And so as you could see, this is something that's been going on and on and on for a long time. Uh, Also, I would like to show this. Okay, now people that I say don't understand. This is the Pathmark truck. Okay, and this, for those that I was talking about Pathmark, they didn't understand what it was, the grocery store that it was. So I actually pulled up this picture of something that I had a long time ago. And I won't tell you why, how the picture came in existence, but that's no here or there. But that's why we did it. That's Pathmark. Okay. I got. Let me see how much time I got. Okay, I'm doing good. I'm doing good on time. But I have a couple of things that I would like to address as far as the elements. So let's go back up and do some of these comments, because the comments are coming. They're coming, and I love that. I love when people actually get into the comments, and they say okay, repping our culture, peace to face, peace to the chat, peace to the representatives. Okay, yes. China Black says peace, chat. Okay, let's go down a little bit, stroll down. Let's stroll down, stroll down. Okay. DJ Phase, I have donated a few times, specifically around the tribute for Mario. I would recommend you monetize your page. You only need 1,000 subs, and you have that. Oh, well, thank you, kind heart. I'm going to get on that today and find out, because I didn't know how to monetize my page. And like I said, I'm new to this YouTube, but kind heart, let me hear. I'm going to put that up. I'm going to show that. Okay, so yes, kind heart. Thank you for the information. Shout you out, shout you out. That's what I'm going to do. Find out about how to do that, and monetize my page. I guess it would be much easier for you guys to just send me the super chats or super comments and everything. And so, yes, I will definitely. I'm glad I saw that comment. Okay, so that's going to be in the works. Okay, let me see. Screen froze. Yes, yes, the screen did froze. We stopped that. Peter Brown, do you want to get funky with me? Okay. Um, let's go to repping our culture. I love listening to Phase because I don't have to ask questions, just listen, and surely my questions are answered with the information he gives. Thank you. I try. I really try. I really do, family. I really want, because one thing that I've learned, that if the information doesn't get out, then what'll happen is any narrative will be okay, you know. And so the narratives that are coming out, you know, they're false narratives, and so we don't want the next generation to have these false narratives. We want the next generation to know the truth, and so that's one of the things that I do. I heard Lenny's Larry Leguizamon says, I heard Lenny's son was into hip hop. I know his daughter. I don't know of a son. Uh, Maybe that's, you know. And also, there are two Lennys. There's Breakbeat Lenny, and then there's Lenny Robertson, who passed away. Breakbeat Lenny is from Bronxdale, and we've been collecting records together since the '70s. And you know, he has a major collection. And he is his memory for the the names of records is extraordinary. It's like it's incredible, and that's Breakbeat Lenny. Breakbeat Lenny has sold records to any producer that's platinum producer. You know that had he's the one that he's a beat master. That's what I can say about Breakbeat Lenny. Breakbeat Lenny is definitely a beat master. Okay, let's go down. This information must go mainstream. It is imperative we push this truth out. Robert Rand. Yes, yes, Robert. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show and teach our culture and what it means to have these elements in hip hop and why these elements are imperative to information to get out. So yes, okay. Carrie Vine says go go music too. Uh, Go go music came and went and then came again and went. When I say came and went, uh, some go-go music. See, there's a difference. There's a difference. How I can say it that better this way. There's a difference in what is now considered go-go music and what's the 60s and 70s go-go music. So go-go music in the 60s and 70s was a psychedelic type of music for the go-go dancer. Okay, so the go-go dancer is different from what the go-go music is today. A go-go dancer would dance in a bar, would dance in a some type of thing, and that was the early nudity type of dance, where a go-go dancer, female, would get on the stage and do things that a normal dancer might not do. You might show a little cleavage, or might show, you know, and have these go-go short skirt dresses on, and you know, psychedelic type of gear wear, and you know, and they used to do what some people call the Batman, where they do their eyes this way, and you know, and stuff. It was more of like a psychedelic hippie type of dance, and they were considered doing these at go-go joints, and so that's the difference between what is now go-go music. Uh, and I want to say, well, Chuck Brown. That's something that I learned a long time ago. Chuck Brown is the one that made "Bustin' Loose." Um, he actually is, I would say, the father of go-go music, And Chuck Brown came up with this style that used a lot of bongos and a lot of congas, and it was a swing that was in the pocket, and it was more so in the DC, Virginia, Maryland arenas, so it was then based there. And it was a music that definitely hypnotic as far as being in the pocket, and it went from there. So I really started hearing go-go, I want to say 77, 78. I started hearing go-go, and it was, like I said, for me, when Bustin' Loose came out, and that was, and pumped me up, and when those it dropped the bomb, and those records, that's where it got me to say, oh, there's I like go-go, it's good. So yes, Carrie, Vines go-go music too would be, both styles of it. The 60s, what they considered go-go, and up to date now. Okay. Uh-oh, let's see what China Black is tired of. I'm so tired of people who are not there trying to invent different narratives. Yeah, yeah, China, me too. I'm very but this is what happens. When they create try to create these narratives, what they're doing is they're trying their best to add themselves and their cultures into this $1 trillion business. But it always you ask them that question. The main question is, so what did you bring to the table to give you this narrative? And so you'll never hear that answer at all. Okay, Patrick Young says, hold on. Let's bring Patrick up. Peace, Patrick. Okay, DJ Phase, I think we are being way too nice to those outside of our culture. Let's just keep it back, keep it as that black. Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans don't have the cool quotient. They're not cool like us. And I like I said, I don't want the Puerto Ricans and the Jamaicans to think that I'm against them, because I'm really not. But just like China Black said, they create these narratives that are not necessarily true, and they try to say that they were there when they actually were not. One or two people cannot consider they. It's just it's that's not how it is. Even till today, you can't consider a whole culture or a whole race to be there because of one or two people. Okay. Malik Bey. The bottom line is, we don't own or our own institutions and schools, so we are subject to being abused by these colonizers pretending to be government. American facts, brother. Yes. Well, Malik, I'm going to tell you, and this is just my opinion. What's happening, and this is why I don't get into it as much. Um, but what happens is, and during my research, what I found out, is, number one thing is, we're speaking language that was given to us. So our language was taken away, and some Europeans came and said, "This is the language that you're going to use." And at that point, I wish that our ancestors would have said, no, y'all keep yourself on your side, you do that, and we'll keep our language. That's what I wish would have had happened. Also, and a lot of people are going to get mad. A lot of people are going to get mad at me, but also being called the color black. Let's keep it 100. Those came from the slave masters being called black, and so we had to adapt to it. We had to try to change it. We had to try to assimilate to it. We had to take it and use it just like the language that we were given. So I don't go deep into it anymore because I feel like we're at the point now that people are going to see the difference. People are going to understand why they shouldn't use the black status, because that's what it is. It's not the color of our skin; it's the status of it. So it's the black status. So people that actually call themselves black or use the term black are the same people, because see, black is a big umbrella. It covers Jamaicans, it covers some Puerto Ricans, it covers Dominicans, it covers Haitians, and so it's an umbrella. Okay, and so a lot of that people that's covered in the umbrella might not have been treated or went through the stuff that we've went through. um you know I hear the term FBA, and foundational Black Americans, and they use the word black, and that's the problem that I have with it. So it's hard for me to get into it, but it's even harder to stay away from that subject, Malik Bey. So you're right. If we had our own institutions, our own schools, and everything, our own language, then yes, it would be so much different, and we would have so much ability to get information out, as so on and so on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to take a couple more, and then I'm going to go back into the elements. Okay, Mamuma Ahmad. Facts. We've been nice for too long. That's why we are dead lost, dead last. We the most loving people in everyone else. Yes, and that's true. That's true. We're a loving people. We accept. We accept. We're the kumbayayers, as you can want to call it. We're the ones that say, okay, yes, come on over here and join with us. Yes, come on, you can be a part of this. Yes, yes, and we've done that for too long, and you see what's happening with it. Okay, let's go back now. One of the elements is battling. Okay, battling the competition of what we're doing. What this thing is called hip hop, and you know, we were competitive from day one. We were competitive, and so that's where the battle comes in at. And so we would battle like every element. DJing. You would battle to see who can, get the crowd to like them more. MCing, who could talk on the mic and say the best snaps or debate or whatever. Dancing, who could dance the best, what we were doing, and who has the better moves, and who could do this for, so that was battling. Fashion, same thing. My shirt is better than your shirt. My kicks are better than your kicks. Snapping, same thing. My snap is better than your snap. I said something funnier than you said something funnier. And so battling is a big element of hip hop that the competition that is not even known, not even said. It's not willingly said, but it's an element. And that, to me, and believe it or not, that's one of I love that element of it. I love because competition is the only thing that'll make you better. That's it. If you're DJing and someone outdoes you or whatever, you bet your bottom dollar you're going to go back home and you're going to practice and you're going to get better and better and better, so the next time you can do better. And that's it. That's what hip hop is. That's an element. And so the people that don't put that element into it, that's it. They asked me the other day about the the Flash and Ronnie Ron battle. I want to tell you about it honestly, but it's in my book, and so all I can say is that it happened. I believe in 123. Yeah, I was. It was in 123. I remember that part of it, and you know, Flash wasn't the Flash of later. He was the Flash that was just coming into it. And Ronnie Ron, he rocked him. He rocked him. Just simple as that. All those that were there could tell you Ronnie Ron rocked Flash. He did, and it was more than one time. So he did rock him, and like I said, that was something that it was a part of an element. It was what we were doing. Also, people don't know about Wallace D and Bosco. They only know about Trixie and Sasa. But Wallace D and Bosco were, they were basically one of the first things, besides the Bronxdale people. And, I remember one time we went over to Bronx River, and it was off of tapes. It wasn't even a DJ. It was a box, a cassette tape, and Little Keith rocked them. I mean, he Little Keith was nasty. The Little Keith was bad. He's from Bronxdale, first section, and he rocked, and we got on the floor and we did our thing and everything. And so that was a big part of it, battling. Um, so we did that. Okay, hold on. Let me see something. Okay, so here, let's go back to this. Okay, I covered that. I covered that. I covered that. I covered that. Okay, so now let's go back to this picture that I had before. Okay, so now if you look at this picture of Soul Train and you look at the way they're dancing and the way that they're dressing, uh, this was a West Coast thing. Not necessarily just West Coast, but we had did stuff like this earlier. So what I'm trying to get at is that when we did it, we were doing it coming out of the 60s. Okay. I think Soul Train first aired in 73 or 74 or whatever. But we were doing it since the 60s, dressing like that, dancing like that, and everything. So by the time it got to the West Coast, we were already changing up and doing a different type of style. So, that's one thing that I do know and I remember. Okay, so now if you look at the Soul Brothers top 20, this is from Jet Magazine. If you look at the records that were playing, you see James Brown is number two, I believe. Um, Baby, I'm for real. These are records uh, that were like in the top 20 at that time. And so that's basically what it was as far as the early 70s. We would get people would get these type of records from the top 20, and they would make that the number one thing to do. That's where they would go to these record stores and pick up these records. So they would run, get a Jet magazine, look at these records, and that's what most of the DJs did. What changed it for us was that those records were cool, but those records were not basically for what we wanted to do. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to get on the dance floor. We wanted to just, break and we wanted to show off, and we wanted to show our clothes off, and we wanted to solo it, and and so that's what it was. Um, I think my time is up, and I guess I will be forced to do a part three. Um, Hold on. Yes, I would have to do a part three tomorrow. So please like, subscribe, and join. Um, Hold on. Let me throw this up here as well. Uh, Also, remind in the comments tomorrow, please remind me to actually go back to the battle with Ronnie Ron and the battle with Bosco Wallace D and Keith. Okay. So it's been real, people. I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. And I think I'll leave you out with this. Um,